Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And this week we're discussing a little episode called A Hole in the World. Seems like we should have known. Anyway,
Yeah.
this episode originally aired February 25th, 2004, attracting approximately 3.92 million viewers. So before we get into the horrible sadness that is this episode, let's look at the number one film in America this week, Dave. Any guesses?
Oh, that year.
2004.
Around that time. Again, the one particular one that comes to mind from previous weeks was the 100 First Dates, I believe you were mentioning.
Last week was 50 First Dates, yeah.
Yes, with that one.
I'll give you a hint. It's not the same movie. And, well, considering when we're recording this, it is sort of seasonally appropriate.
Kind of spring sort of things of stuff? Or...
No, more like Easter.
Oh. No, that was years later. Nothing immediately comes to mind, but...
It's this little film called The Passion of the Christ.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing that people watched and I never understood. Anyway, let us move on to the number one song in America this week, Dave.
Song-wise, been a while. I was kind of lost track of the listing.
So, last week we had a song called Slow Jams by Twista featuring Kanye West and Jamie Foxx.
Nothing immediately comes to mind that I could think of song-wise.
I'll give you a hint. It is not the song I previously mentioned. It is a little song called Yeah by Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris.
Wasn't that one that was on a couple of weeks back?
No, that was Hey Ya, Dave. Keep up.
Oh, okay. No, it's just yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let us move on to video games. So, for notable releases, we have, if you're a PS2 gamer, on February 26th, you could pick up a game called Kaido Battle 2 Chain Reaction. I don't know what that is, but apparently people liked it.
Supposed neatness?
I have no idea what it is, and there's no link on this webpage to tell me what it is. So, February 27th, if you're an Xbox gamer, you could pick up Steel Battalion Line of Contact.
Supposed yay? Like, it sounds vaguely familiar, but it seems like a typical soldier game.
I think it's that, like, tank one, isn't it?
Supposedly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no, it looks like it's like a mech game.
Ah.
Okay, I've never played it. March 1st, if you were a PC gamer or you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up a little game called N.
You know, just need those one letter games.
It's a kind of interesting, like, very lo-fi looking game that I'm like, oh, that actually kind of looks interesting.
I believe like a little puzzler or something like that.
Yeah, kinda. Like a platform puzzler, kind of is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Moving along to March 2nd, if you're a PS2 player, you could pick up a little game called Drakengard.
Yes. Drakengard. The game I know of decently well, but only from people on the internet that gush and rave about it.
Yeah, I've never played it either. Also,
Oh,
March...
sweetie. Oh, sweetie. You've done yourself a supposed service and also a terrible disservice.
It seems like the kind of game I wouldn't like.
Yeah.
Also on March 2nd, if you had a PS2, you could pick up a game called Lifeline. Which,
Understandable, but doesn't seem to really draw much of a line to anything.
I feel like this didn't do well outside of Japan. Because I don't remember this game at all, and it did not review... Well, it got weird reviews, actually. Some places really liked it, and other places really didn't.
Huh?
Like, Game Informer...
I think it happens.
Game Informer gave it 8.75, and then Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it a 4.33, so who knows?
Yeah.
Also on March 2nd, if you're an Xbox player, you could pick up Ninja Gaiden.
Yes, because it was another thing that existed.
Yes, that was the 3D Ninja Gaiden game, which I've never played, I don't think.
Which probably makes sense because you'd only last a couple of seconds and then be like, well, this is not the game for me.
Oh, yeah, no, I would have been frustrated within 5 minutes and be like, this is fucking dumb. Also on March 2nd, a game that's much more up my alley. If you had a GameCube, PS2, Xbox, or Game Boy Advance, you could pick up Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. It's a Scooby-Doo game, although it didn't get great reviews.
Mild sadness.
It's like a 6 out of 10 average kind of thing.
Meh.
Also on March 2nd, if you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could pick up MTX Moto Tracks, which certainly looks like a game that people played.
Possibly. Like, supposedly something's ringing in my head, but it's not matching up to anything.
I feel like, oh no, this was more of like a straight up racing, like bike game, but it's in that era where everybody was trying to make their version of Tony Hawk.
Yeah, somewhat understandable, I suppose.
Alrighty, let us get into the episode. Okay, so we start off with a flashback to Texas. Fred's parents are helping her pack for her move to Los Angeles. As she packs her stuffed bunny, Feigenbaum, Fred promises her worried parents that she will live a boring life. In the present day, at Wolfram Hart Science Lab, Knox accepts the delivery of a sarcophagus. When Fred touches the lid, a puff of dusty air is released, making her cough. Later, she meets Wesley downstairs and they kiss, thrilled to finally be dating. Lauren starts singing You Are My Sunshine to Fred, who picks up the song. Lauren immediately realizes that something is wrong. Fred immediately coughs up blood and collapses. Oh, it's nice that we're starting off with such a happy beginning.
You know, that their sarcophagus test wasn't too bad. Just a little bit of blood. It's fine. We're all good.
It's fine. When Fred regains consciousness in the medical wing, her friends assure her that she will be okay, even though they don't really know what's going on. Gunn goes to the White Room where he meets the Conduit. Gunn wants to make a deal for Fred's life and offers to give up his own, but the Conduit tells him that the senior partners already own Gunn's life. Angel, Spike, and Lauren go to Lindsay's apartment where they encounter Eve, who denies knowing anything about what is happening to Fred. Eve sings LA Song, and Lauren determines that she is not involved. Eve suggests that they look through the oldest scrolls for information on the Deeper Well. In Wesley's office, he tells the group that the demon in question is called Illyria, and that she is coming back to life by hollowing Fred out. Angel and Spike travel to England, where the Deeper Well is guarded. Wesley takes Fred home so that she can rest. In her apartment, Fred asks for Feigenbottom, but then cries when she cannot remember who he is. Wesley reads A Little Princess to comfort her as she deteriorates. Angel and Spike arrive in the Cotswolds and meet Drogon, the keeper of the Deeper Well. As they head into the Deeper Well, Angel explains to Spike that Drogon cannot lie. Gunn and Knox discuss trying to cryogenically preserve Fred. Knox makes a slip of the tongue, which Gunn catches, causing Knox to admit he is one of Illyria's acolytes. He tells Gunn that everything was planned millions of years ago and cannot be stopped. He also reveals that Gunn contributed by unknowingly getting the sarcophagus through U.S. Customs by signing the contract to make his law knowledge permanent after finding out it was temporary. Drogon leads Angel and Spike into the Deeper Well, explaining that Illyria's sarcophagus disappeared a month ago, as it was predestined to do with the demon's essence. But the demon's essence can be drawn back to the well by a champion. However, if Illyria leaves Fred now, she will kill every person between Fred's body in LA and the Deeper Well. Angel realizes that he cannot allow that many people to die, even to save Fred. As Wesley weeps and holds Fred's body in his arms, she begins to convulse, throwing them both to the floor. Fred rises from the floor, now completely taken over by Illyria. So, what did you think of this episode, Dave? Are you still alive?
Nah.
So what did you think?
On whole, it's definitely interesting that they placed a couple specific plot threads within this episode with Gunn having his bit of involvement within the story, other little bits and pieces that they sort of strung along with it. Just the case of, uh, it was not fun with this stuff. But still, it's a thing. Gosh darn you, Joss Whedon.
Yes, this is not a fun episode. It's a very good episode though. So, where do you think we're going from here? Because now we finally get to meet Illyria.
Yeah, with how interesting that's supposedly going to be.
She does have a cool design though. Like we get to see it properly in the next episode, but like it is a cool design. I do have to say.
Yes. Well, it's the case of we lost two characters and gained a new one.
We didn't lose. Who else did we lose? We lost Fred, but who else?
We lost the other particular gentleman in the science lab. Gunn saw to that.
Oh yeah, well, Nox got his ass kicked, but he's still alive as of this episode. We don't know what's going to happen to him. Although everybody's really pissed off at him, so he probably doesn't have long to live.
Oh, okay. I figured with that particular canister, he just went straight for the head.
Oh no, he knocked him out, but he's not dead.
Duly noted. I figured the brains would be crushed.
No. Nope. He is still alive, so you know. It's a very, very good episode. I warned you this one was going to be sad.
You did.
I think it's worse because like we get all these like great moments of Fred before it happens. Cause like we see her with the family and everything, and then like she has some scenes with like Wesley and stuff, and it's all really sweet. And then, fuck you.
Yeah, something just bad has to happen.
Of course it does. That's how this show works, Dave.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for the reminder of the show that we're watching for several months now.
I mean, yeah. So, I have some trivia notes, and then we'll get to international titles for this. So, originally Giles was supposed to appear in this episode. Because that would have been like a really easy way to have the audience and the characters all like Giles appears and says there's no way to save her. Everybody believes that right away, right? Because you know, it's Giles and Giles knows everything.
Okay, I can somewhat see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I also love they have this running thing of astronauts versus cavemen, which seemingly has nothing to do with anything, but, you know.
Yeah, like, how did they even get onto this point? Like, it's not so much the case of they wouldn't be arguing about this. It's like, what caused it? Would it just be like one little comment that some other person just randomly said walking by, and then just Spike latched onto it? It's like, let's see how far we can take this.
I think it's Harmony who comes in and, like, she's like, you've been arguing about this for 40 minutes. And it's just Angel and Spike because they just want to fight each other.
Well, Spike more so, and then Angel just kind of gets caught up in it because it's Angel and he can't really see any of Spike's bullshit.
It's so good. They bicker like an old married couple, and it's great.
But then, of course, Wesley sort of hears about it. It's like, you're arguing about this. It's like, well, yeah, what do you think? And he just sort of stops for a second, and he just sort of follows along with it. It's like, does Spaceman have weapons? And it's like, no.
It's very good stuff. Yes, so I don't know if you noticed this, but when Wesley's reading to Fred, he reads a book called A Little Princess, which was one of the inspirations for the creation of Buffy. So that's
Okay. Interesting.
kind of interesting. I've never read the book, so don't ask me anything about it. But it's from like the early 1900s. So anyway, let us get into alternate titles because there's some real good ones. Now, granted, a lot of them are either a hole in the world or something, a variation on that, so I'll just skip those. But the Czech know what's up. The Czech translation for this episode is A Demon Older Than Time Itself.
Ah, perfect, because we don't need to deal with demons within our own time. We have to deal with ones outside of it now.
Yes. In Hungarian, it translates as the sarcophagus. And finally, in German, it translates just as Illyria.
Like, yay, new character supposedly coming in. Oh no, we're losing a character to get this one. Oh.
Yeah, so Fred's gone, but maybe not forever. Maybe we'll get her back. I mean, technically,
there's the whole spiritual thing and other particular stuff with that, but it can still be decently bad and want to take a frying pan to this new character's face.
well, and I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a character got resurrected in this franchise. Like, Buffy died a bunch of times.
Oh, geez, gosh darn many times.
So, maybe she'll come back. Maybe that'll get answered in the next episode.
Because, we had the particular things with a couple of characters coming back for an episode at least, until we got the confirmation about it at the end of the episode. Ugh.
So, next week we'll be discussing a little episode called Shells. Dave, I'm sorry, but this one isn't going to be much happier.
Hooray!
Okay, so Angel and Spike return from England defeated, knowing that the ancient demon Illyria has completely taken over Fred's body and soul. Upon learning that Knox and Gunn have each contributed to her demise, Wesley goes for revenge, and Angel tries everything to restore Fred, include calling on an old friend from Sunnydale. Meanwhile, Illyria tries to locate an ancient temple where she believes she will find an army ready to help her destroy mankind.
Huh.
Yep. So, yeah, some stuff's going to go down.
Yeah, kind of the case with the new character.
Yeah. So, until next week, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.